With me is Slovenia's Foreign Minister. Ma'am, welcome to WION. It's great to have you here in Delhi. And my first question to you is about the India-Slovenia relationship. How do you see this relationship as, and what are the sectors you see where there can be more growth?
Yes, we have traditionally very good friendly relations. I had today a meeting with a foreign minister, not for the first time, and we both agreed that we wish to boost our economies with more investments, especially on the fields of science, technology, innovation, energy. From green hydro, we do pharmaceutical sector, artificial intelligence, space industry, very interesting project that we had at the River Ganges with satellites and our technology observing how the climate change is affecting the population and agriculture. So yes, we continue working closer, and we also are very supportive to the trade agreement between the European and India, hopefully to be concluded by the end of the year.
In terms of India being the center of the world, in terms of manpower supply, how do you see the Indian workforce, the professional workforce, helping Slovenia? Are you keen to get more Indian professionals?
We are talking about that. We also discussed with the minister. In Slovenia, we certainly need a workforce from the abroad. We have currently 16% of foreign workers, and they are very respectful in Slovenia. So we are talking, negotiating, and I think it's good progress.
Ma'am, essentially, if you can perhaps give your assessment about the war in Ukraine, what is the current situation and where do you see the future prospects going on? Are you looking at peace coming this year?
We want to see the end of Russian aggression, of this brutal war in Ukraine. We want to see ceasefire, but not for any price. So when we discuss about Ukraine, we want to see just and lasting peace based on the principles of UN Charter. So Slovenia understands the fight of Ukrainians for territorial integrity and sovereignty. And we do support any peace initiative that brings Ukrainians to the table and the agreement that is acceptable for Ukrainians. So current talks between Washington, Moscow, Kiev, also European capitals is encouraging, and I do hope that goes into direction that maybe before the summer break we can see the end of the war, but as I said, it has to be on terms acceptable for Ukrainians, and also we as Europeans want to be part of these negotiations.
And how do you see India's role? India has been in touch with both Moscow and Kyiv. The Indian Prime Minister told the Russian President that this is not an era of war. A similar message to the Ukrainian President as well. So how do you see India's role?
I think for any successful peace initiative, we need a broader support. So also from our partners, such as India. We were often in the past even criticized of having double standards, which is not the case. But we do want the respect of the UN Charter. So we do want to have an understanding. And I think on that lines and having useful peace initiatives that are acceptable for Ukrainians, I believe India can contribute a lot.
India can contribute a lot. I believe Slovenia is a member of the UNSC this year. And as the member of the UNSC, what do you think about the UNSC reforms? Something that India has been very vocal about. And do you see India being a permanent member of the UNSC if the reforms happen?
We are now second year non-permanent member of Security Council, and we are supporting India to become one in the years to come. And we are also very strongly supportive to the reform because it's needed to better reflect current geopolitical situation. So we will have to rethink how to better increase the number of seats in the permanent and non-permanent councils. So we are thinking of what the best formula is, even looking to our region, coming from eastern part of Europe, central eastern part, we wish to prefer to see 2 seats. So this is a complicated formula, but we are certainly aware that current representation is not suitable to the geopolitical context.
There are other wars in the world as well. One is happening in West Asia, and Donald Trump has said that people from Gaza should move. What's the position of your country? How do you see this war as?
we are very clear that any forced displacement of Palestinians is unacceptable and it's against the international law. So we are very vocal and outspoken on the two-state solution. This is the only guarantee for the safetyness of Israelis and Palestinians living side by side. But first, we need to see a permanent ceasefire. We need to see more humanitarian assistance and exchange of hostages and prisoners. So we need the second phase of a ceasefire and serious talks on two-state solution and also implementing. You know that Slovenia last year recognized Palestine as a sovereign and independent state because that is really the only guarantee for safety of Israelis and Palestinians.
And ma'am, how do you see the rising profile of India? And also you're here for the Raisina dialogue. You have the Bled Strategic Forum. How do you see the cooperation between the two sides? Because I know in the past, many high-profile visits have happened to Slovenia for the Bled Strategic Forum.
I did invite today the Indian minister to attend this year 20th edition of Bled Strategic Forum in September. He was 3 years ago there. And I hope this year he will come again because our Bled Strategic Forum and ORF Resina Dialogue, they are really closely cooperating. So that is an option to go ahead. But also I think we, in this globalized world with a lot of challenges, we really need each other. So the best message to India was when the whole almost college European Commission came here for the first ever visit outside of the European Union. It proved that Europe really wants to strengthen relations to India.
My last question ending on Europe. How do you see India and Europe coming closer? We saw the visit happening. We will see the summit happening later this year. So what are the convergences you're looking at between both sides? Both are large. India is a large country. European Union is a large entity. And they can essentially have a very happy marriage.
India is a very fast-growing economy. In many ways, really, we are like-minded partners. And European market is also very interesting, attractive to Indian companies. So I do hope that with the trade agreement to be finalized, hopefully this year, that is giving a new opportunity for economic cooperation, and even more important, I would say, in today's very challenging world, to strengthen people-to-people's contacts.
On that note, thank you so much, ma'am. It was lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much, ma'am. With video journalist Neeraj Patel, Sidhant Sibal for WION in New Delhi.